Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe my channel. The Price is Right is more than just a game show. It's a piece of Americana. It's the show you watched when you were homesick from school, the show your grandma had on every single weekday. It's a source of pure, unadulterated joy. But as with all things, some things change, and not all of our favorite games are still around. Let's take a look at some of the classic Price is Right games that you probably won't see anymore. The original Bullseye. Way back in the day, there was a game called Bullseye. Not to be confused with the current version, this one was played for a car, and it was nearly impossible to win. Contestants got 7 chances to guess the exact price of a car, and Bob Barker would tell them higher or lower. The problem? Nobody ever won. The game was so challenging that it was retired after only a few plays. Hurdles. Hurdles was a cool game with a fun concept. A little hurdler character on the screen would move toward the finish line, and at each of 3 hurdles, the contestant had to correctly identify which of 2 products was cheaper than a third original product to keep the character moving. It was a solid idea, but the mechanical set was notoriously unreliable. The prop was prone to malfunctioning, and the game was eventually retired because of these technical issues. Can you imagine the frustration of a contestant who knows the right answer but can't win because of a broken prop? Hit me. This game was essentially a variation on blackjack, but with prices instead of cards. To draw a card, you had to correctly identify a multiplier between the displayed price and the actual price of an item. Getting a 4 card, for example, meant you found an item whose displayed price was 4 times its actual price. If you guessed an item with the correct price, you'd get an ace. Fans loved this one, and it was a great way to test a contestant's knowledge of everyday prices. But the show retired it, deeming it too complicated for some viewers. But if you knew your math and your prices, you had a guaranteed win. Add 'em Up. Add 'em Up was another game that was just too much for some contestants, and apparently for the show's producers. To win a new car, you had to guess its 4-digit price. You were given the sum of the digits and 1 free digit to start. The contestant then had to figure out the remaining digits. Sounds like a fun mental puzzle, right? The show decided it was too much like an algebra problem, and it was retired because it took too long for contestants to figure it out. The phone home game. Remember when people actually had landlines? This game was a throwback to a different era. A contestant on the show would be paired with a home viewer who had called in. They would work together to win a prize, with the home viewer winning a prize as well. The game was retired for a couple of reasons. It was a lot of work for the production staff, and it reportedly didn't get enough of a reaction from the audience. It's a shame because the idea of playing with a stranger on the phone was so quirky and unique. Super Ball. This game was a bit like skee ball. Contestants had to earn a certain number of prizes to get a super ball that they could then use to play a game on the stage. It was a fun, skill-based game that gave contestants more agency than just guessing a price. But it was reportedly retired because it was very similar to another game, the shell game. Trader Bob. This was one of the original games, and definitely a fan favorite because it had a really cool set and involved 3 models at once, crisscrossing the stage. The contestant had to trade up prizes to win a big prize at the end. It was a complicated game to produce and was eventually retired. Fans speculate it was because of a low win rate, but others believe it was because it was just too similar to other games. Penny Ante. This game had contestants trying to win by choosing the correct price for 4 small prizes. It was a simple game, but it was notoriously prone to mechanical glitches. Bob Barker, in his prime, would often get frustrated with the game when it didn't work. The final nail in the coffin was when the set was damaged beyond repair in a rainstorm. Walk of Fame. The final game on our list is Walk of Fame. This game required contestants to arrange 5 celebrity autograph books by their value, from lowest to highest. While the concept was unique, it was also criticized for being difficult to win due to inflation. When prices change so rapidly, a game based on the value of a prize from a previous season is almost impossible. It's bittersweet to think about these classic games. They were a part of our childhoods and a big part of what made The Price is Right so special. But the show has to evolve to stay relevant, and sometimes that means saying goodbye to old friends. But we'll always have the memories. Retired pricing games. The Price is Right. The Barker era. This playlist features videos of some of the retired pricing games from The Price is Right.